Welcome to Power Podcast with Queen Beauté, where mindset meets transformation. Each episode invites you to awaken your mind, expand your perspective, and rise into your power. Today, we will explore mobilizing regret. We are getting into all things regret and how we can become more empowered once we learn how to mobilize it. Regret. I view regret as a longing for something you can never change. I think that because anytime we regret something, it's about a situation that's already occurred. And as of now, we can't change the past. Maybe with advanced enough technology, we can, or maybe if somebody is able to unlock it without advanced technology, spread the word. And see what craziness will ensue if we are able to change the past. Anyway, so we cannot change the past. If you are longing for something that you cannot change, something that you can never change. Unless, my little asterisk, unless somebody unlocks the secret or with advanced enough technology, etc. We cannot change the past. If you're longing for it, you're going to be in quite a predicament, because if we can't change it and we wish we could, where does that leave us? Frustrated, for one, super frustrated. Oh, I wish I could. I shoulda, coulda, woulda done this, and oh man, you're just going to spin in a tiny little circle of frustration. Regret comes in different sizes. You might regret something small. You might regret something big. My advice to you, so I'm giving this to you from the jump. We're only a couple minutes in. Here's a secret to mobilizing regret. Change your mindset. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. That's it. I'm going to spend a little bit I'm going to spend a little bit more time actually going into detail as to how we do that, but that's the advice. Change your mindset. Change your mindset. Okay, so let's get some examples in here. There have been times, I'll mention in general and then I'll get to specifics. There have been times when I regretted not speaking my mind. Regretted not speaking my mind. Here's an example. Oof. This is an embarrassing one. I don't know why this just came to me as the first example, but here we are. I was in a nightclub once, and I was having a conversation with a man that I didn't know, but I was talking, we were getting to know each other. However, every time he spoke, he spit on my face. Ugh. 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 I cringe. Yuck. Yuck. Like, okay, so we were that close. Well, we weren't that close. We were so we were within 2 feet of each other. It wasn't like I was all up in his face and it was just inevitable I was going to get spit on. I don't want to get spit on. I never want to be spit on, okay? So I wasn't like, yeah, let me get closer so that his can, no. So I wasn't close to him. When it happened the first time, I thought it was just an accident. You know how, what's it called? Gleeking, when under your tongue, there are like these glands that can spit out saliva. And some people have this skill or they can do it on command. So it's like they just kind of move their tongue a little bit and it's like squirt, squirt. Okay, so it happens on accident to people from time to time, right? So I'm like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, trying to let him save face and maybe not make a big deal about it to be like, ugh, why you spitting? You know, because it was the first time that it happened. And I regret that too. But the first time that it happened, it was just like, oh, whoops, excuse me. So I kind of wiped my face a little bit, but I didn't want it to detract from what we were saying or, you know, that I was still listening to what he said because he said some interesting things. It was just the spittle. Okay. So it was kind of like, so I kind of wiped it away, trying to be real subtle about it. But then it kept happening. So I don't know what you would have done, but I can sit here and say, you know, I can armchair it years later. This was a long time ago. I can armchair it years later and be like, oh, well, I should have just been like, hold on, excuse me, can you back up a little bit? Or wait a minute, like, you know, you got a lot, swallow or something. Swallow more often. You're not getting, you're leaving too much and it's coming this way and your technique and you know, I could say that I should have said something or I should have done something or that I could have just backed up or that I could have, I mean, I did try to turn, all right, so that it wasn't getting me head on. You know, I was trying to turn to the side. So I was in my own little struggle here. So imagine me, you know, trying to twist but like keep eye contacts. So it, yeah, it was real difficult. So awkward. Oh my gosh. But so it kept happening. It happened, I would say, oh, so disgusting. It happened maybe like 5 times. That's 5 times too damn many. Okay. Well, or 4 times too many, because maybe the first time is an accident, and then you know you could have just stopped it right there, like no more spittle shall come henceforth. Like that's the thing when you play something back, you're just like, why didn't I do this? What was wrong with me? What was I doing? And then there's also the, well, why didn't he notice? And don't can't you tell when you don't you see it? And, oh, terrible. But here I am sharing it with you, dear listener, to illustrate the frustration with when you regret something. So I regret not saying something. I regret like I ended up never saying anything. Somehow I like got out of the conversation because I was like, it's not worth it. It like the spittle is too no. The conversation versus the level of liquid is not, it's not balanced. This is no. So somehow I got out of the conversation, but my regret is that I didn't get out of it sooner, that I didn't maybe say something, that I didn't like move. I mean, I just have all these regrets when I think about it. But the regret that I feel that I'm describing to you, ugh, I said so ick. Just ugh, I can't get it together. Come on, Queen. So these frustrations that I'm airing about that particular incident, I don't lose sleep over it now, like tossing and turning and waking up, ah, he spit on me, like, you know, flashbacks and nightmares and stuff. I so it doesn't bother me to the same degree that it did like at the time and for like weeks, months, far too long did that situation bother me. Just how I handled it just bothered me so much. I hope you are entertained. You can't tell me that I'm not entertaining. Okay, so we're gonna get to the empowerment in a minute, but we're gonna get our chuckles in. I realized from that experience and then subsequently the regret and the like the anger and the frustration that I felt at myself for how I handled the situation, Well, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't go back and say and do something different. I can't go back and tell my past self, "Hey, if you don't stop it now, it's going to continue 5 total times." Like there's nothing that I can do about it. I just didn't realize how powerless I was by being stuck in that regret. I didn't realize how powerless I was being stuck in that regret. When you're stuck in the regret, so you have regret about something, so you done played it over in your mind. You're like, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. When you have regrets about something, so you wish you would have done something different in some specific situation, you are powerless. Do you hear me? Powerless. Because you're mad at something for which you can do absolutely nothing. That's crazy. That's crazy. If I were mad that I saw the sunrise another day, you would call me Looney Tunes, right? You would call me straight up crazy. Like, what you mean? Like the sun is gonna come up. How can you be mad? Mad about that? What, you can't even do anything about it. So why be mad, right? The same thing with regret. If we have that belief that it's the same thing, I'm getting mad at something I have no control over, then you'll realize how you can take your power back. You take your power back by understanding that it's not worth your time, energy, stress, anything to fret over something you cannot control. Another way you can get your power back from the powerlessness of having regrets is actually thinking through what you would do the next time you find yourself in that situation or a similar situation. That helps us to regain our power. If we say, you know what, next time though, if this happens, if there is a next time, I'm going to try this because I tried it like this, didn't like how that played out. Next time, how about I try it like this? You may not have an identical situation. So something may look different, and perhaps your plan to do this in particular the next time may not be what you actually choose because you may just adjust the situation. But it at least can give you some comfort if you think what you would want to do the next time something like that happened, if there was a next time. Okay, so for me, with the spittle, um, listen, if you're someone whose mouth is like too wet, I'm just gonna look, we're gonna have a little sidebar here. If you're if you're someone whose mouth is too wet, do something when it comes time to speak to people. Do something about it. So maybe like swallow a couple extra times, back up a little so that the distance that the spittle has to travel means that it's less likely to land on the face. Maybe it'll land more like on the shirt or the stomach, further down, and then, it's like more inconspicuous then. Just a little sidebar. If your mouth is too wet. Okay. If you know someone whose mouth is too wet, like when they speak, they spit. Come on, y'all. We got to give some feedback. We got to find a way. Feedback is a superpower. That's something for a later episode. Feedback is a superpower. So how we give the feedback totally can make or break the scenario. But so if we can give the feedback in a way that is empowering to the other person, then we'll have the most optimal scenario and outcome possible. Okay, so if you know someone though, like find a way to say something. So here I am. If I found myself in a situation where I'm having a conversation with someone, Little spigots on me. Yeah, I'm gonna be less subtle with removing it from my face. I'm gonna make it a bigger deal. This is my plan. I'm gonna make it a bigger deal. I'm gonna make it a bigger deal. The wiping away, like, oh, wait, hold on. If they're talking, just say, whoa, hold on. Okay, got me there. You can make light of it. You can do, whoops, a little extra, little shower got on me. Ooh, let me back up. Whoop. Here, you want a napkin? I mean, there's, I'm mixing, playing around today, and with my advice. I'm actually well, I will talk about the power of play in a later episode. So stay tuned. Okay, so there are different ways that you can give the feedback. So I'm thinking I would probably like make light of it rather than it be a serious like, how dare you? You have offended me. We shall battle to the end. Like, it ain't got to be all that. It could be something serious if you feel really offended and you like, fisticuffs. But it doesn't have to be that. It could just you can make light of it. All right. That's my current plan for if I found myself in such an unfortunate situation. Okay, what's another story that I'm willing to share about regret and then how I was able to take my power back? All right, here's another one. Also in the vein of keeping it light. Today, we're keeping it light. We're just getting the message out there however it wants to come out. Today I'm feeling silly. All right. So I lived in New York for some years. So taking the subway, I'm talking about New York City. So taking the subway was normal for me. Okay, here's some advice. If you are planning on visiting New York City and taking the subway, please pay attention to the number of people in a car. What I mean by that is, so let's say you're you're waiting for the train and the cars are passing you as the train is slowing down and you see a bunch of cars are packed and then you see a car that has almost nobody in it and then after that you see cars that are packed. Avoid the one with almost nobody in it. Why? Because it's for a reason. There is a reason. And it's not because some people were just smarter than others and they happen to snag the car that has few people in it. No, no, it's always because there is something very undesirable inside that car. I didn't notice at first. I was like, ooh, look, nobody's in this one. Okay, let me go in here. Funky, funky, stank, nasty. All right. It was due to the the body odor of someone in the car. I'll just leave it at that. It was terrible. Filled the whole car with funky. Funky. I'm talking Fonky. Funky. Terrible. Awful. So I smelled it right away. And I'm seeing other people, only a couple people got on with me. Most of the other people that were on the platform got into the other cars, the ones that were already packed. So it's funky, 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 like, ew, nasty, yuck. The doors close. I'm like, oh, I should get off. I should go to another car. I mean, it's packed, but like, no, I shouldn't stay. You know what I did? Stayed. Why? Don't know. Don't know. And I regretted it. I regret it. I swear when I finally did get off, I smelled like it. I smelled like the funky that was in there. And I was big mad. Big mad. B-I-G. I was big mad. Like, girl, why didn't you get off that funky car and just go into one of the packed ones? I'm sitting here thinking, well, maybe it's not that bad. I don't know what's worse is being in tight quarters with people or like the funky. Like the funky should win, right? That should be worse. But just for some reason, I just thought, I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking very well. It might have been the funk. So I regretted that I didn't get out of that car and go into another one at all. I regretted that. What I did to mobilize that regret is I was like, next time, boo, we're not staying. We're not worried about hurting people's feelings. We trying to stay fresh. We're trying to stay fresh. We're trying to stay sane. We're trying to keep the nose passages like as like clear as possible. We don't want them all, you know. So I told myself if I'm in that situation, I'm getting out. And I did find myself in that situation several more times just over the years that I was in New York, just over the years. I did find myself in that situation. And you know what I did? I got the heck up out that car. That's what I did because I remembered how mad I was at myself for not doing that first time. I didn't think of it as mobilizing regret. I mean, I can put together the vocabulary and then have like a coherent idea now, but I didn't really think about that at the time. It was just like, nah, that ain't gonna be me again. Nah, no way. Not me, player. Mm-mm. So it's possible. Something like that is possible that could happen regularly. Regularly. So it would be in your best interest. If you're like, you know what, it happened, you got me, haha, funny. You're not going to get me again because next time I'm going to do this. And then let it go. You can let it go because there's nothing you can do about what you did or didn't do at that time. Let it go. Understand that living in that frustration is keeping you powerless. It's got you chained, it's got you enslaved if you hold on to that regret. Free yourself and let go. Also, avoid the car that has very few people because again, it's for a reason. All right, that's my little tip there. My accent might be coming out a little bit too, but that's my tip on the subway cars. Hmm. So that's a couple. Those are a couple of stories. Remember that regrets come in different sizes. We can have small regrets. We can have big regrets. Regrets of a size somewhere in between. All of them, though, we can mobilize. We do that with changing our mindset, how we frame the entire situation. So it could be that I don't want to bring this up anymore. This is going to be the last time I mentioned the spittle. So I could, originally it was, oh, I'm mad I didn't say something. Why didn't I? What's wrong with me? And blah, blah, blah. I could. Or I'm sitting there in my fury with the regret, knowing I can't change anything, but still mad about it. Now, when I view it, I go, here's something really ridiculous that happened. And I can laugh about it now. I can make jokes about it now because there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do to change the actual situation. I can reflect on it and I can do something different if it happens another time. And that's it. That's the lesson that I can take from it is, well, it happened. It was gross. I can laugh about it. I can joke about it. I can also do something about it the next time. And here are some ideas on what I would want to do. This is maybe here's some ways that I would say it, or here are some gestures that I would do. Like, let me try something different because what I did then, I'm not pleased with. So I'm definitely gonna have to do something else. So that's me mobilizing it. It's like, well, I'm gonna move that into action instead of just spinning my wheels, circling the drain, just in this little fury of regret. Here's how I can get out of it. I recommend you give it a go. Regret is a big topic. So I'm going to end the episode here, but not the discussion. And I'll leave you with this insight: restore your power by mobilizing your regrets. Thank you for listening to Power Podcast with Queen Beauté, because transformation begins the moment your mind awakens to its power.